Yo, 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 welcome back. This is Jack of All Trades with episode 2.1. Unfortunately, the other day we were having technical difficulties, so we had to end it short. That's our bad, our apologies, but we're back with another one tonight. Was it 9:22 Eastern Standard Time? Listen, I gotta get up early in the morning, so what? We here
Hard
for you
work,
guys.
dedication. Hard
You feel
work.
me, Tom? You
Hard
feel
work,
me?
dedication.
You feel me?
Understand?
My man Stan, how you
Absolutely.
doing, my brother?
Doing good, man. How y'all feeling?
How you doing? Man, listen, I'm ready to get this. We got a lot to talk about, bro.
Ready to go. Ready to go.
A lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the first things first on the agenda, I guess, like I said, 2.1, part 2 of last Sunday's recording. We got something fun for you guys, man. Shake it up a little bit. So, what job or career did you have that you enjoyed the most, that you had the most fun in? Who want to go first?
Go ahead, Tom.
Go
ahead.
I'll go. It was years ago, man. It was years ago. I was living in Orlando, Florida. You know, Florida's a crazy place in general.
Wait, when did you live? Wait, hold up. When did you move to? Wait, hold on. When did you live in Orlando?
I was living in Orlando in between 2011 to 2013.
Is that when you was doing? Yo, I think that's when you was doing your training for the bikes, right?
Yep,
okay, I remember. Yep.
So it was actually the end of 10, and then I finished up like mid 12. I stayed down there till like a little bit of 13. Then I came out to Cali for a while, and then I came back to Philly, and then I moved back to Cali. So a whole bunch of moving around, moving and shaking. You know what I mean, all over the place. But the job was at IKEA, right? So at that time, I was basically couch surfing. I was living my best life, you know, in Orlando, and I was couch surfing, and so the IKEA was right down the street. I was like, I need a job, and so go down there, get a job. IKEA, listen, the perks, you don't make no money, right? We was making no money. Minimum wage in Florida was like $7.25. I was probably making making like $10 an hour. You hear me? I was broke. Broke.
The
But
devil.
it was horrible. But check this out though, right? So I worked in a department called the recovery department. So in the recovery department, all the furniture that people couldn't figure out how to put together, you know, they would bring it back. So they bring it back, the boxes be mangled, the pieces be all over the place, and you know they never put all the like the dowels and the screws back, right? So we would get it, and we would just put the pieces together as best as we could. So we would have drawers, different colors, but we got so good at it that we was basically making our own furniture with it. So we would have like one drawer white, one drawer black brown, another drawer white, another drawer black brown. And so we was making all these furniture coming out of the recovery department, and people was coming in just for our own products that we was putting out of the department, right? So one dude came in, he would tip me like,
hold on, time out. Y'all mean y'all was freestyling furniture?
Yeah, we was freestyling IKEA furniture. So we was making all types of different
That's
setups.
out of pocket but dope at the same time. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, we was making all different types of setups. We was hooking it up, and then there was one dude. He was a furniture. He did furniture for people's houses. So he was a designer. He was a designer, home designer. And so he would come in, and every time he would just come in looking for certain pieces. He was like, "Did you make this? Did you make that?" He would tip me like $100 every time he came through. And so he would look for certain pieces and things like that. And then also we could make our own prices on the stuff as well too. So I was in there. Comforters, $2. I'm taking it home. I'm running with it, man. I got all types of IKEA, everything in my house. I'm IKEA'd out, right? IKEA'd out. And then the best perk about that job, though, the best perk was in the employees. So the employee had their own separate lounge. I don't know if all the IKEAs are like this, but this particular one in Orlando was. The employees had their own separate lounge, and you could get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It would only be $3, but it was buffet. You get anything you want. So all the mac and cheese that they had, the pizza, the hamburgers, everything was $3. So you just run up in there. So I was broke, but I was eating good. I had all IKEA furniture. I was living all right off $10 an hour, but it was a time. It was a time to be, man. That was absolutely one of the most fun jobs I've ever had.
I'm trying to hear some stories with some of your guys that you work with. Like, was you also in a bike club down there in Orlando, or you stayed true to up here to the executive writers?
So at that time, I had already left executive writers. I was already a Thunder Guard.
Okay.
I joined the Thunder Guards in 10. I had joined the Thunder Guards in 10. And so I was with that club through them too. They're in Daytona. So they were in Daytona. So on weekends, I would go 2 hours away to Daytona from Orlando and go kick it with them.
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So I was moving, man. At that point in my life, man, I was everywhere. I'm still everywhere.
Jack of all trades, bro.
There you go.
Those Eckies, man. That's you.
There you go.
That's you.
Yeah, so that was a time, man. I mean, the stories is crazy. I could go on, but I know we got stuff to get into. We'll get into that later, though. But yeah, that was absolutely one of the most fun jobs.
We definitely need more story. You should have like I'll tell mine, but we gonna have to have like a story episode from you, man.
Nah, word. For real.
We gonna have a story
for real.
But my I think my favorite job was my first one that I had in the science field, and that's when I was working at this the stem cell repository over at Rowan College up at
Stem cell.
yeah, up at, you remember where it used to be,
They had
Burlington County
clones?
College?
You heard what I said, did you?
I heard what you say, man. I heard what you say, man.
All right.
Nah, we was up at the Burlington
You
County
never
College. It's Rowan now, but the old BCC, they have what's called an incubator. It's like a building with a whole bunch of businesses, and we had this stem cell repository, and we were isolating stem cells.
They got clones, dog. You said the incubator? Yeah.
The incubator. You think this is Terminator?
Yeah.
You think this is Matrix? All right.
They engineering babies. That's gonna grow
Listen,
in like
man.
2 days.
We talked about your doppelgangers, man. Don't play, man. I might have to put the secrets out, man.
Yeah, what's that movie that came out with Clone Tyrone? That one.
Oh man,
There was some messages
it, man.
in that one, bro.
Haven't seen it.
messaging.
Message.
But I'll tell you what is noteworthy
You ever
about
seen it?
this.
You gotta see it.
No. I'll tell you what's noteworthy about this job. We were extracting stem cells from liposuction fat, if you can believe that. So people were we were partnering with these cosmetic clinics. So, people get, cosmetic surgery and liposuction. And we made a deal with the cosmetic clinics that, whatever liposuction waste they had left over, they would just give us to us discounted, I would suppose. And we would get these big, like, I don't know, 16 ounces, maybe 100-ounce vat of fat. And we would put them into these bags, and we would just process them and isolate the stem cells from them. And that was just like blew my mind, man. Like just seeing what somebody's fat looks like from inside their body, and then like, yeah.
The fat cool, but the whole process to get the stem cells, they were cloning people in New Jersey, people.
Yo,
I'm trying to tell you,
but they were stealing BBL.
This is why
fat,
you. This is why you can't. This is why you can't talk science. That's why I can't talk science with y'all, man. Y'all like according.
Listen,
You know what? According to y'all and Jason, I'm freaking taking like chicken testicles and making new like giraffes out of it or something, man.
bro, it's Jurassic Park in the making, bro. You know what I'm saying? You splice a stem cell with the human. You make a
I'll
new
tell you like
caveman.
this: if
They
we
brought
had those
the,
if we had those capabilities, I would not be on this podcast. I'd be somewhere far away with like a goatee and a beard and sunglasses, man. With a big
off
payday,
the
man.
grid with it.
Off the grid, boy.
Whew.
Change my name to Grady, man. I wouldn't even be here.
They've been doing it. They've been doing stuff like that. Obviously, I don't care what no one say. Genetically modified. They've been growing our food.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's not a question.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
That's not speculation. That's a fact.
Yeah, but the at all, it's facts, true. But also, was it in Time magazine last year when they actually recreate the dire wolf?
Really?
Remember that? where they took they took like DNA from a gray wolf and spliced it with something. They made, I guess they recreate the dire wolf. I guess I don't know, but it has gray wolf genes in it. That was like last year sometime, or maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean they had to
We were
clone
trying
it.
to play God, bro.
Yeah, I know. They cloned goat or sheep some years back too. So I mean they've been on that. And I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
One thing, you know, I kind of close off that I learned in my management systems class is technology always outpaces the human ability to regulate it. Don't ever forget that. With AI right now, that's something that
That's a
people
bar.
should never forget because that's how the Terminator starts. Do doom every time, man. Don't learn.
Skynet.
Yeah.
Skynet. Listen. Yeah. I told y'all he a rapper, bro. I told you he a rapper.
Now? You got the
That's
audio.
bars.
You got the
Listen.
the different.
I've been looking. I'm looking.
Yeah.
I really low key want to try a little bit of everything, but I want to make it
you got
appropriate.
Yeah, he's going to
Oh,
turn into a
man.
menace,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
About to turn into a
See?
menace. About to turn into a menace.
Yo, I'm telling you, DJ Cruz. Right.
You should get the laughing joint from Simpsons. The dude that be laughing at people. Get that sound effect.
Yo, it's funny you said laugh because you know I stream video games, right? I remember a year and a half ago I was playing Call of Duty Resurgence on Rebirth Island, and I ran this bull down with a pistol, and I was like, this is when I think hot mics became available, so you can actually talk to the person. I was laughing like the Joker in his ear, bro. It's recorded somewhere in my job, but I gotta bring it to you guys and see if I can get it. But anyway, my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My turn.
You up?
Yeah.
All right. So the most fun job I ever had, I would say definitely the military. Definitely the military. I was a jet mechanic, so for the F-16. So basically, being a jet mechanic or a crew chief, that's what the term for crew chief, or the technical term, tactical aircraft maintainer, sounds special, but we do a lot of work, man. Shout out to my crew chiefs out there, bro. Whether it be F-16s, F-15s, B-2s, B-52s, stealth bombers, anything, bro. Like we out there, F-35s, 22s, A-10 Warthogs, even the choppers. But being a jet mechanic was the most in the Air Force, or being a crew chief is the most thankless, but yet the job gives me so much gratitude because for one, the aircraft is not that big. It's the smallest fighter jet we have in the Air Force, but yet the most dependable, right? But the job in itself, when you're actually out there with the guys, and especially used to work in Atlantic City. Working at home station is one thing, right? But working on a deployment, bro, that's a whole nother ball game, bro. I think my favorite TDY I had was my first one. We was in Tucson, Arizona. I'm not even mentioning like my time in like BMT or tech school in Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix, Arizona area. Man,
You've been
you ever
everywhere,
been
man.
time out on the West Coast near Phoenix? I've been
Where in Phoenix?
like Mesa, Luke Air, where the Cardinals play, Mesa, Arizona, Arizona.
Mesa,
yeah, that whole
Glendale,
area,
all that,
Glendale, all that, Scottsdale, bro. It is. I loved it out there. I love Arizona. Period. I would move out there if it wasn't so hot. But
It's
also,
hot, bro.
but I also like my seasons. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see, like, as much as I complain about the snow, I gotta see the snow. Like, I can't be seeing brown all day. It's depressing, even after 2 weeks. But anyway, I remember this one time, bro. Oh, I've been to Hawaii. Oh my gosh, bro.
Hawaii is beautiful, man.
Hawaii is also beautiful, but the mainlanders don't like you. They do not like the mainlanders.
Yeah.
Deeply rooted hatred for the mainland, and I understand. But regardless, I remember this one time when it's so many I can't remember. I can't choose which one because I had a lot of laughs, bro. A lot of laughs. I remember this one time we went to Las Vegas, CDY, Las Vegas, Lake Mead. Kind of embarrassed myself, but so what? First things first, make it out there. I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. So we rent this pontoon boat, right? Right now it's Air Force Base, and we go rent a pontoon boat and go to Lake Mead. And we out there, you know what I'm saying? They got the cooler out there. All alcohol, no food. This is before I gave my life to Christ. So there's no food. There's no food.
Hey, you ain't got to qualify to us, brother.
On this
You ain't gotta
pontoon boat.
qualify. Yeah, you doing what you're supposed to do.
We all had a life, you know what I'm saying? But there's no food on this boat, bro. All alcohol. Coolers of alcohol. Right? No food. So somebody go ahead and rent a jet ski. So, you know, they get the jet ski, everyone's hopping off the freaking pontoon boat, take up the slide, jumping off the top level because it's a 2-tier pontoon boat. Everyone's jumping and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, I wish I could do that. I'm the only brother of color out there too, by the way. There's only one other Puerto Rican dude, and I think he was an officer. But we're all out there, was watching to get the jet ski out there. It's like, come on, Cruz, go on. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm good out there. I don't know how to swim, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Cruz, you'll be all right, man. Like, yo, listen, pull this life vest. You're not gonna sink. You'll float. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm good because I don't know how to swim. And we in the middle of a lake. You know what I'm saying? Lake Mead. This place is gorgeous, by the way. So long story short, they convinced me. My trainer, I ain't gonna say his name, but my trainer, he's a cool dude, by the way. He convinced me to hop on the jet ski. Listen, like, yo, Cruz, you know, they call everyone their last names by their last names, right? Last names. They say, Cruz, listen, hop on, you can drive, I hop on the back, you know what I'm saying, and just make sure you good to go, because nothing happening. I say, bet. All right,
You ain't have no jackets, you ain't have no life jackets.
I had a life jacket on, so I'm saying I had a life jacket on.
You could have floated away.
Yeah, you tell me that, but I don't know how to swim. It didn't register. It didn't register. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm on a jet ski. You know what I'm saying? I'm whipping that jam. You know what I'm saying? I'm killing it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's on the boat. Like, yeah, Cruz. They hype me up. White people go hype you up the most, bro. They can make you feel like you can do some stuff. But listen, I'm hitting the jet ski. I'm like, wow, I'm killing it, right? And then look behind me, he's not on the back anymore. I'm like, yo, where he at? So I'm thinking like he did some old Jedi mind trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm going to go out there, then I'm going to hop off, and he going to be fine by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in his head, right? So I saw him in the water doing like this, right? Just doing this.
Come on, man.
So I go back to go pick him up. He's like, yo, you went over your own weight and flipped me over. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, hop on. So my trainer, he's also a big guy. He's bigger than me. And he's about 6'3", and he's kind of, you know what I'm saying, he's heavy. So you try to hop on like a regular bike, the whole joint flip over. Pash! I fall in the water. Splash. Bro, I'm over there panicking like, I'm over, the jet ski is upside down. You know what I'm saying? The bottom is now up. I'm over here clawing, climb on top of the joint, and my trainer's like, yo, Cruz, calm down. I'm like, I'm screaming. He's like, yo, Cruz. He yelled at me, it's Cruz. And like, I shut up. He's like, yo, calm down. He's like, yo, let go of the jet ski. I'm like, yo, I'm not letting go of this jet ski. He's like, yo, Cruz, let go of the jet ski. I'm not letting it go. Cruz, let go of the jet ski. So I let it go. And he was like, okay, now what's happening? I'm like, nothing. He's like, right, you're floating. As long as you have that on, you're perfectly fine.
You're not going to go. You're just going to float.
That's a wild story, man. That's a wild story, bro.
I got many more wild stories, bro. I don't mind putting myself out there. Yeah. But he says, like, now help me flip the jet ski over. I'm like, flip the jet ski over? How I'm gonna do that? I don't know how to move or nothing like that. So I try to help him. So every time I try to push it up, I put myself under the water. So I start freaking out again. He's like, you know what? He finally get over, and every time we try to hop on, it flips over again, over and over again. So he's like, yo, you know what? You hop on. I'm just hold off on the back, and you just tow me back to the pontoon boat. Bet. Go slow. I'm and then he yelled like, "Oh, cruise, stop." I'm like, "What happened?" The jet stream from the jet ski blew his drawers off. So now he's out there butt naked in Lake Mead and stuff like that. So now his drawers, now his drawers is like floating back there somewhere, and he gotta go get it.
You was just all you was thinking about was getting back to land. You wasn't thinking about nothing else.
I'm trying to get back on the boat. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, where we originally were to where the pontoon. That's another thing. He also had the keys. He's also the only one that knew how to actually work the boat. So I'm thinking like, how come they can't come over there, come to pick us up? Because they don't know how to open it or turn it on. So now I'm like halfway between where we were into the boat. Some other guy comes out there and swims out to help, stuff like that. And they said, "Yo, go swim back." I'm like, "Swim back?" So I get in the water. I'm floating, so I'm trying to kick my feet and move my arms. I ain't go nowhere. I moved nowhere. Now I'm splashing, looking stupid in the water and stuff like that. And then they finally got the pontoon boat to come pick me up. And I hop on the ladder. I look up, start bust out laughing, bro. We all just cracking up, bro. Had to laugh at my pain, bro. But that's just one story, bro. I've been to Korea. You know what I'm saying? I've been zip lining over the Yellow Sea. I think the Boryong Mudfest. That joint was dope.
Yo,
I had a lot of
stories. His draws though.
Yeah, he got his draws.
He eventually got his draws.
His
draws just floating in the water.
Floating in the water. So, yeah, bro.
Okay.
So,
all right.
You know what I mean? So, Hawaii, dope. You gotta be careful, though. You gotta be careful out there in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? You think you're getting play out there. Nah, you're not getting play. She's a working girl. You know what I mean? And you don't know she's a working girl because she's in the regular spots. And you thinking like, oh snap. You know what I mean? I'm that bull. Nah.
Thinking I'm on.
I'm that bull. Nah, she trying to get paid.
Man.
Trying to get paid. And you gotta be careful. Be careful out there because some of them working girls are working dudes. Looking like But I digress. But yeah, man, the military.
Another story for another time.
Another time.
Yeah.
Military is dope, though.
We need to hear those.
Nah, we don't need to hear those.
We don't need to hear those.
We don't need to hear
none of that.
None of that.
No.
We good off that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got a lot of laughs, bro. A lot of laughs, a lot of good times. Oh, y'all may laugh or may not laugh, but I laughed. I laughed. Well, in BMT you can't laugh. Like that's like the best and worst place that it's hilarious, but you're not allowed to laugh. So my flight 458, right, and we got my brother flight 457. We're getting close to graduation, so we're about to have we're having a parade practice, right? We're having parade practice, and my military leader, MTL, Staff Sergeant Billy at the time. And then there was my brother flight's MTL was a blue rope. The blue rope is like, you're that dude, top dude, right? You got the blue rope around your hat and stuff like that. And he's yelling at this kid named Stevens. And he's just yelling. He's like, I guess Stevens is doing like the wrong facing movement or the wrong something. He's doing it wrong. We're at parade rest. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting. Okay. We're just got you.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So say it again, brother.
Hold on, I'm about to mute my audio. I'll be right back.
All right. Cool.
All
right. So Stan, check this out. Right. So he's doing this facing movement or some type of move, but he keeps messing up. Right. He's messing up. And then the MTL or Sergeant, I forget his name, but he's like, Stevens! he says this wild statement. He says, if you don't get your ish together, I'm gonna break off your legs and have you bounce back to the dorm like a tigger. Yo, our flight.
That's crazy.
All you heard was we're all trying to hold our laughs in. And even my MTL, Sergeant Billiot, his lips got so tight because he was trying not to laugh. And he says, Flight 458, no matter what, never lose your military bearing. Because he knew that was hilarious, right? Now, I think they may have a class or a school for MTI training to make for like jokes to roast people. That's what I think happens. So as we start marching, this boy named Strauss behind me, he from Houston. He had this accent. He like, hey, yo, Crows, was that not the most funniest thing you ever heard in your entire goddamn life? I'm like, yo, shut up, dog. Shut up, be quiet. Like,
let it out, man. Let it out, man.
I was about to lose it, bro.
Let it out.
And y'all know me, bro. Like, you know, I like to laugh. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to laugh so bad. But I promise you, when we all got back to our dorms and the MTI left for the day, we were in the dorms crying. We were in the bays crying, bro. Like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious, bro. Bruh, it was some funny stuff.
I see how y'all getting down, man. I see how y'all working.
Last story. Also BMT. This guy named Trexler. His lights out, right? Staff Sergeant Hudson, right? This is happening right in front of my bed, right? So I'm laying down, lights is out, and Trexler runs up to Sergeant Hudson. He says, "Sir, trainee Trexler reports his order." Then proceeds to ask some type of question or something like that. A sincere, genuine question. You know what I'm saying? And by this time, you know what I'm saying, we're like week 4, week 5. So, you know, we're not getting yelled out. We're not getting yelled as much as it was in week 2, week 3, week 1 or week 2, right? So, you know, the staff sergeant is somewhat treating us like adults a little bit. And then he says something, and there was like a strange silence for like 2 seconds. He asked a question, it was silence for like 2 seconds. He asked this guy, he said, "Did you brush your damn teeth?" He's like, "Sir, Trexler reports his order." "Yeah, I did, sir." He says, "Bullshit! Get back in the other train, start brushing your damn teeth." Yo, bro, he's riding this guy. So Trexler speed walks to his locker to get his toothbrush and toothpaste and everything needs. And as he's doing that, the MTI is yelling and telling him, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up." And now he goes into the latrine bathroom, right? Well, the sinks are. And all I heard in the distance is just him yelling and smacking the sink with a stick, telling him to hurry up and brush his damn tongue. Bro, I had my head under my pillow, screaming like we're just, I'm like,
Yo.
Did any of y'all ever break?
Bro,
any of y'all
I'm
ever
weak.
break character? Any of y'all ever break character like SNL?
Nah. Bro.
Not a little.
It had been
giggle,
happening with like
chuckle?
5, like
Half
10.
chuckle?
No, bro. Like that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
That make it worse.
But like I said, I had the pillow over my head, like just screaming, like laughing and stuff like that. And I know he couldn't hear me. You know what I'm saying? Because he's busy yelling at him, and it's loud. You know what I'm saying? So this is going for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He's speed walking back, and the guy's right next to him, behind him, yelling him still. I forget how it ended, but it ended eventually. And then he closed the door. You had to wait till you hear his footsteps and wait for that second door to close, because that's when you know he left. When he left, and that second door closed, bro, the entire bay was screaming, laughing, yo. We was crying. Yo, I swear, I had so much tears in my eyes, yo. Oh, man, bro. He's like, it's not funny, guys. Yeah, bro, we laughed even harder, bro. I was telling you. BMT was like the funniest place you was not allowed to laugh at all, bro. And only those who actually went through BMT can understand. Doesn't matter if it's Coast Guard, Air Force, Army, Marines. We all know those moments, bro. Like memories you can't get, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. So many memories. I'm gonna give you all the surface level. But yeah, bro, the military. Me being a crew chief was probably the best job, most fun job I ever had. I had some decent jobs, but
Sounds
the most
like
fun job was that for sure. Say what?
Was that better than UPS?
Don't you dare say UPS. Underpaid slaves? Underpaid slaves?
Yo, why get real quiet? It got real quiet. Don't you ever say that.
Man was having
Bro, I hated that job, bro. That and FedEx. I mean, and crazy, when I got that job, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was young. But if I would have stayed, you know what I'm saying, I could have became a manager because they liked me. But I just hated that job so much.
it was meant
I
for
couldn't appreciate it.
You were meant for better things, man.
Of course. And here I am now doing a podcast with you gentlemen. Appreciate y'all.
For sure.
UPS was brutal, man. Them boxes fall on your head. You be in them trucks. Boxes fall on you.
I went back.
Building the wall.
Not UPS, but yeah. Oh yeah, that was loading the trucks was the worst, bro. Cause you had a quota.
Yeah.
You had a quota.
Yeah.
Dudes was stacking like 1,000 in one night, bro. I was getting like 500 moving dumb slow.
And it depended.
And my mom thinking I'm moving, but nah, I'm moving dumb slow. Like, yeah, you gotta at least do 1,000. Like dudes is moving fast, coming out their trucks. Help me out.
Then they had the nerve to put like the wrong packages in there to see if you really paying attention to what you scanning. I'm like, come on, why is you doing this? Why are you doing this? I don't want to do this.
I did that loosely. I kinda, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. But then they moved. This is how you know you trash. They moved you over to the vans to unload those.
Yeah, unloading. No fun. I did unloading one time in one of them big trucks. Yo, them packages coming so fast at you, they just hitting you in the legs.
Brother, I'd rather do unloading, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just
brutal.
And now I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't be taking care of your package, bro. Like that.
Oh,
yeah.
When your package get beat up, yeah,
we knew that.
Yeah,
we
like
knew
Ace
that.
Ventura. It definitely was Ace Ventura.
We knew
All your
that.
packages would be destroyed.
Amazon care somewhat, but
I don't think so.
you're probably right.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Just throwing the packages on the truck.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, bro. That's my job, brother. The military.
Nah, man, you got
chief.
got quite a few adventures, man.
Yeah, for sure. A lot. I've been to Korea twice. The last one I did was Afghanistan. During COVID, it was Afghanistan, Al Dhafar.
Wow.
Our base, we shut down. Well, my wing, right? We were the last fighters there, so we actually shut down Bagram Air Base. That was an experience. That was an experience. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. But yeah, man. So speaking of military, bro. Bro, what is going on in the world?
Quite a lot of things going on in the world.
A lot.
Like, do I have to say it? You know what I'm saying? I think y'all know what I'm putting down.
Man, listen. We in Iran now. We in Iran with no exit strategy. You already know. He gets up there, President Trump gets up there, and he says, "Oh, we're close to the end." Close to the end of what?
When he say that? What did he say that?
Said it today. Either today or yesterday. When I was checking the news, he said we close to the end. And then Pete Hegseth was like, to summarize, his basically said, I don't know what he's talking about. so to summarize it, nah, man, no exit strategy. It is here we go. It's just a here we go again type of situation. As we had been talking, It was just the
Mhm.
same way. Afghanistan, 20 years. It's just going
Iraq.
in and Iraq, and then we
Yeah.
going in and saying, "Oh yeah, we're in there to take out their nuclear plants and their nuclear weapons, and to destroy their military." But my thing is, you're not going to destroy somebody's military in a week. So what exactly is you planning?
This
Like
ain't Desert
how
Storm, bro. The shortest war ever was a Desert Storm, right? Matter of
was
what?
it?
How long?
Desert
Can't
Storm was a
remember, but it
couple
was
years,
definitely
wasn't it? How long was Desert Storm?
nah. No,
Desert
you're
Storm
talking
was
about the one in
how
the
long
one in
was Desert Storm?
'93. One in '93 is
Yeah,
different than the one in
my
2001. That
daddy
one
was
was the
there.
shorter one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was the shorter one.
My
Because I'm
dad
like,
was
Desert
there.
Storm
Yeah,
was a couple years.
my dad was there. But yeah, bro, I don't like to what end, right? He's saying that there is an end. Like when this isn't like Iran is not a country that cannot defend themselves. I mean, obviously we're the bigger superpower here, but let's dive into it, bro.
Let's
So
get into it. Let's get
let's dive
into it.
into it.
For sure.
So
Hold on one second.
how
I gotta
did
adjust my lighting. But y'all keep talking. I'll be right back. I gotta get my
yeah
lighting right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like how did we get here? That's what I want to know. Not just like present time Iran, like why did Trump go to Iran, but like for those who may not follow, because I feel like some people are just jumping in while in the middle of something. Like how did the U.S. and Iran become a conflict? Let's start with that.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and I'm not as well versed as I wished I was, but I do trace it back to when we destabilized the region back in the mid to late '70s, culminating with the overthrow of their government in '78 or '79.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the Iran hostage crisis and those days. But I mean, you overthrow a government and then you create a power vacuum, and then ever since, like if you look at pictures from Iran pre 1979 and post 1979, it's like apocalyptic, like in terms of the difference between the two states of that
Mm-hmm.
nation. And it's like a chess player that makes moves, but they only think one step ahead instead of five steps ahead. And you think you have checkmate, but you're not scanning the whole board. When you radicalize a nation, how can you be surprised when you take away stability from the region without having a proper plan in place, like we're kind of doing now, and then wonder why the people hate you, right? The
Right.
same nation that the same nation that wanted to send troops over to Vietnam to fight for a war that a lot of people did not believe in at a time where people of color were not being treated the way they should have been. And then you fast forward to what you did in Iran. There's a reason why during the Iran hostage crisis they were planning to release all the black hostages first, because they
It was like
tied their
13 or something like that.
they tied their struggle
It was like
to
13.
something like that. They viewed
Yeah.
their struggle as in lockstep with the peoples of color that we were being persecuted across the globe, including the U.S., which is why they actually were the first to release a stamp for Malcolm X, long before the U.S. did.
Right.
They
Okay.
when we had the political events with killings in the 2010s and whatnot, George Floyd and some of the other people, Iran was one of those countries to come out and speak out on it. So this is
Mm-hmm.
I see it as a conflict of ideologies, principalities, and personal interest. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes people think they can walk around with a hammer and just whack everybody on the top of the head, and that's going to get people in line. This is the way it's supposed to be. You do what I'm supposed to do, just like we used to do in South America. Back in the days of Teddy
Mm-hmm.
Roosevelt and prior to that, when we would send our navies around on like a parade to say, hey, this is This is the new kid on the block. You do things the way we want to. And eventually, people get tired of that. So I don't know how you
Right.
resolve this conflict without eventually putting boots on the ground, because if Vietnam taught us anything, you cannot, there's not enough air power outside of like dropping nuclear bombs to make a country absolutely capitulate. You have to send boots on the ground.
Right.
And to do that,
Yeah,
now
but I
you
never.
now you have, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like so. So yeah, it's funny. So I never see that either. And at least like if you actually want something to change and you want to like, I guess they want this a regime change. I guess you gotta put boots on the ground. You can't. I've never heard of a regime change when you just send air power and that's it, with no troops on the ground at all. But I think if it gets to that far, when if we have to send groups put troops on the ground, oh boy, I don't. I hope we don't. I hope we can actually be diplomatic in this. But how do you go back after you go into a country and start, bombing them? You know what I'm saying? But something you said earlier about being a bully and stuff like that. So, it's been a while since I've been in school, right? So I had to go back myself and see exactly what's going on back in 1979. So prior to that, I didn't, from what I read, that the U.S. actually had a figurehead in Iran that had good relations with the U.S., right? And they were like Western oil companies that had, that was basically was getting money out of Iran. So 1979, I think what happened was there was I guess a protest, so they wanted a regime change and they rebelled, took seizure, and then they nationalized their own oil. Right? Is that what happened? Fact check me if I'm wrong. But prior to 1979, Iran's oil wasn't nationalized. It was owned by Western oil companies. Fast forward, Iran, like, this is our oil, and obviously we upset about it, right? And that's when it all went down. Iran, they took over and put their own political heads in place. And ever since then, U.S. and Iran been at odds, basically because we're not making money off of it no more, right?
I think
And
that's
that's
a
when
pretty
Iran
fair
become their
assessment.
own. They basically became self. They really became their own, their own entity and really put themselves first. You feel me? So just let me know if I'm on the same if I'm in the same vein, if I'm off or not. But that's from my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed, but just like a quick surface level skim, said in 1953, CIA and MI6 from the UK back to 1953 Iranian coup d'etat that overthrew the prime minister.
MI6
Yeah. Um.
Mission
So,
Impossible.
um. So their
Tom
prime
Cruise, where you
minister
at?
had nationalized the Anglo-Persian oil company, like you said, but they overthrew him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yep. So
And
basically,
then
they
and
wanted to
then
be dependent. They wanted
exactly,
they
and we
wanted to
put
take control
we
of their
put our
own.
hand
Exactly. Okay.
exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it.
No, so I mean, to your point, like, it's like, why do we have to have our hands in everything? Obviously, they're in a prime strategic spot, not just because they have oil, but because they control access to oil from a lot of other countries in the region. The Strait of Hormuz. You talk
Mm-hmm.
about Kuwait and Iraq and Saudi Arabia, like any of those countries that depend on that strait for the oil to come through. When you compromise that, you throw off everything in the region, and you have about a quarter of the world's oil passes through that. So it's not about how much oil Russia produces or how much oil the U.S. produces. If you start affecting 25% of the oil supply, you're going to feel the ripple effects. Like, you don't have to be a mathematician or economist to know that. So you
That's
know,
why.
like,
That's why you talk about oil.
yeah, I
Yep.
mean that's kind of been that's the modern day resource. Like, back in the day, it used to be precious metals, silver, gold,
Mm-hmm.
copper, iron, and then when you get into the new age, oil, once they first drilled for oil and they found out, whoa, we have oil reserves, back in during the industrial revolution times, it was on from there. So that is the resource you have to have, and nations have planned strategies around that. I mean, just off kind of off course. Imagine if the Wehrmacht, the German war machine in World War II, did not have oil shortages. If that was not a limiting factor for them, it completely changes what they could
Right.
do, right? But since they didn't,
Right.
then that influences who they attack, when they attack them, why they attacked Russia going south towards the Caucasus, towards the area we're talking about, as opposed to going toward Moscow. Like oil, both on a micro level and a macro level, among with other precious resources, kind of influences the way people move. Like if you follow the money, and if you follow the money attached to those resources, you can really start to understand why people make the decisions they make. These so-called baffling
Yeah.
decisions that make no sense. No, it makes a lot of sense, because by
Mm-hmm.
getting control over the oil in that region, you can influence what happens in terms of strategic moves with China, with Russia, with other countries in that region. And what do you think they're going to do in return? They see what's happening. They're not dumb.
And that's funny.
You think
speak
they're not
about
going to help out
that.
Iran?
It's funny. Well, well, I know but will they? That's a better question. Go ahead, Tom. Like you about to.
Well, you
like
just
bubbling.
seen Putin.
Yeah.
Putin came out in support of the new Ayatollah out of Iran. So
There you go.
he said that's his guy, that's his man.
Ding, ding,
So
ding, ding, ding,
they're
ding.
about to, they're about to team up and party.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes in at. You have all these allies now looking at U.S. and Israel. So we don't like you. You guys have been sitting on top the whole time, right? You're looking at number one, right? When you're number one, you don't care about who's number two. But 3 and 4, they damn sure care about who's number one. And the whole time, we're trying to make these decisions based upon other people's problems, as we've always been done. This country has a history of sticking its nose in other people's problems for our own financial and personal gains at the end of the day. But nevertheless, it wasn't our problem from the beginning. And here we go again with a situation, whereas we're going in, we don't have the amount of resources. Our burn rate is $891 million a day. That's how we are spending already, right? You're dealing with a country that's already $40 trillion in debt. 40 trillion. That's a number that nobody can even put in their mind. You don't even know what 40 trillion looks like, right? And so we're doing all this, and then we're going to be lacking resources, right? You're seeing out here, they keep on showing this one gas station that's always ridiculously high. But anyway, it's $8.21 for regular, and it's almost darn near, it's reaching to $9 for premium, right? And that's 91.
Where
We
was
don't
that
even
before?
get 93 out here. Huh?
Where was that before?
When it first popped off, we were at like high threes. We were, you know what I mean, at some of the cheaper gas stations, it was high threes. But even at those cheaper gas stations now, you're looking at regular $5. And then for premium, which like I said is 91, not even 93. Like back in, like Jersey and Philly and all there, where you get 93, we got 91.
Yeah.
And that's touching $5.76 some places as well too. So all these costs are going to trickle down real quick. It's not going to be as when the summertime comes and you got the summer gasoline and the different additives where it spikes up a little bit. Nah, this is dramatic. It jumped over like 40 cents in one night, and last night it just jumped 10 cents. So this is going to immediately impact all your food supply, immediately impact all your travel, and then obviously jet fuel. It's going to start affecting jet fuel prices. And so it just becomes more and more systemic throughout a society that's already at pretty much at odds anyway. I mean, you look at the last election, it was 50-50, 50 blue, 50 red, right? So it's just, and now you have politicians arguing with each other over things that don't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things, other than the brag and boast about what they did. It's not helping the country, and then now to put us in a war, it's reckless. It's a reckless decision. Honestly, I don't think this country even wants it, and I don't even know how we make it through personally, the same way we went in. or make it out better. As we even saying before, when I was looking at World War II, right? This is, you know what I mean, the Great Depression at that point in time. And then when we came out of the Great Depression, we were okay eventually, but it was, I mean, you saw the famine. People were dying.
Yeah, we were
and dying because of hunger, not because dying because there was a, you know what I mean, because they was out there fighting in the streets. They weren't fighting, you know, the overseas fighting, sure, people, casualties of war, which is unfortunate. And even with that, so far, I believe the number was but close to 1,200 people have even died in Iran already. 143 children, something like that already. So the casualties are starting to mount up. And then we're just looking at, even on our home turf, we're going to start losing people because of famine. People can't even eat. You look at the homelessness right now. The homelessness in Los Angeles, just in Los Angeles, is outrageous. And I'm not even going to get into fraud because that's not the conversation tonight. But
yeah,
that's another conversation. We can keep going. Going. But just in that regard, you know, just to stick on the topic of U.S., Iran, and Israel, it's not economically sound. It's not an intelligent decision. And the strategists, they know it's not. They absolutely know it's not. And what we're dealing with now is could be an extreme travesty.
Well, war costs money, so it's never economical for war unless you know you're going to win and get a big purse at the very end.
You know who it is economical?
Unless spoils are big.
You know who it is economical for? The people supplying the arms.
Oh, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, all them guys.
Oh yeah,
of course. It's like how you was talking about earlier. Off station, how you mentioned the Ford Motor Company was helping Germany with the freaking the trucks and stuff like that. Ford was making bank during World War II.
Yeah, that's something I didn't even know about. And I think a lot of people don't realize how fragile the supply chain actually is just because we maintain it so well. Like, it's not normal for the average meal to travel thousands of miles across the country. Like, if you average where all the ingredients for your meal at Wendy's or Chick-fil-A came from, for example, right?
Well,
and then
it's
that
easy
takes
to maintain if we're at peace.
Exactly. But all those planes, ships, trucks, they use oil, petrol. So what happens when you start disrupting the supply chain? What happens when you start making it so that you have to draw more and more money to fund a war in a country that's already suffering from inflation and bordering on stagflation? People hear the word inflation all the time. Stagflation is what you should really be worrying about. I'll have to double check.
What's stagflation?
I don't know completely, but I can tell you it's worse than inflation. I put it like that.
Stagflation. I'm looked it up.
Yeah. So you have stagflation.
It's just that, I mean, just to add a little bit to it, it's basically like when everything goes flat, right? Inflation, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's rising, but there's still money moving. There's still things cycling through the economy. Stagflation is basically just nothing. Basically, you just hear a dust ball flying down the street. You know what I mean? To put an analogy, it's nothing. No money coming in, no money going out.
Let me go ahead and read this definition for you.
And I think you actually summarized it well. Like, it's because we have unemployment, right? Unemployment is, it may not.
Dang, Stan, you took my
my
notes.
My bad. I had to
but
think
I'm about
about
to say that's a hot word. But that's it. But that's a key word you said though. Hot unemployment. So it says stagflation is a rare, severe economic condition characterized by the combination of a stagnant growth, high unemployment, and high inflation.
Yeah, so, because right now you have not just unemployment, but you have all the jobs being outsourced because of AI. Let's just start there. Along with the unemployment rate not just being higher than we wanted, but higher among the younger generation. That's where the real problem lies, right? So the people that are supposed to be saving up money for the next 40 years for retirement and supposed to be the next guard to take care of the older generation, they're either not going to be there or they'll be so in debt themselves they won't be able to take care of themselves, let alone older people. All you have to do is look at Japan and what they're
Right.
going through right now. They went through stagflation. That's actually a good case study for stagflation because you have
Okay.
high unemployment and no prospects of anything getting better, and you have this growing chasm between the rich and the poor because you don't have any jobs for people, right? And the jobs report actually just came
Right.
out and it was horrible. We actually lost. They were predicting we were going to maybe gain some jobs. I don't know if it was 29,000, whatever the number was. We lost jobs, and that's not even the
Mhm.
corrected report. So it's like they can only
Lost
hide the numbers for so long.
92,000.
There you go.
Did we lose jobs because of, I guess, the direction with technology we're going in? I mean, with AI being as prevalent as it is right now, it's in everything we do right now. Like, what kind of jobs are we talking about that's losing? Like blue collar jobs, white collar jobs? What are you talking about?
Um, so
You know,
definitely in the tech sector,
I'm just
and you have to
curious. Just
definitely in the tech sector,
okay.
and that's a big deal because the tech sector has been the one that's been propping up the stock market with speculation. Um, you look at
Mm,
so like Saudi Arabia is heavily tied into AI as well. So that's why Saudi Arabia getting hit can really hurt our stock market. I don't think a lot of people don't realize that.
yeah,
Um, so you
yeah.
have that, and then you have the prospect of putting boots in the ground. This is a report that came out today, and we were kind of talking about this earlier. Senator Blumenthal, he had a briefing with the Trump administration, and he told CNN, Caitlin Collins, that the American people deserve to hear everything. And he was told in a classified briefing on the war in Iran that the Trump administration is on a path towards deploying American troops on the ground in Iran. So these are conversations that are being
Mm.
had right now. To me, I didn't need to hear that. That's inevitable. Like you were never going to start this the way you did without having to eventually put troops in the ground. But to
You
actually
had to.
hear, yeah,
You had to. So based from my understanding, right? So like when you play video games, right? You have a main mission, right? Or a main goal or main objective, but then you have sub objectives or side quests, right? So you can have your main goal, but as you go along your main goal, you can knock out all the other things, right? I think that's what's happening with the U.S. and Iran. It's not about nuclear weapons. Honestly, I don't think it's about nuclear weapons, right? I think what's happening right now is more so a chess game more it is than actual nuclear weapons. Like there's several things they're trying to grab. Stan, you said earlier, and you as well, Tom. You mentioned oil, right? Oil, right? So, and you also mentioned some key countries as well, Stan. Was it China and Russia? They
mm-hmm.
are the main benefactors of, well, beneficiaries of getting this oil from Iran. Obviously, with us being there, that stops, their cash flow. You know what I'm saying? Not just with them, but also the entire region or anywhere, like, globally, really, because that's where all the oil is coming from. But if we're getting away of that, I guess to be devil's advocate, look at on the positive side, that actually helps our case and strengthen our economics against China and Russia, right? Because it's
Correct.
actually making them weaker, right? So, and then on top of that, besides Iran, jog my memory, not too long ago, we went and attacked Venezuela for a war on drugs, right? It was about drugs. It wasn't about drugs. It's once again, it's about oil because who are the ones that reap the most benefits from the oil in Venezuela? China and Russia. So
There
I
you
really
go.
think this is more so a tactic. So it very well could be like we are probably not, but if we're stopping the nuclear threat in Iran as I guess the what's in your face right here, but behind the mask, what they're really trying to do is weaken the economy of China and Russia, being that China and Russia has been in cahoots together to weaken the U.S. dollar. Now, as an American, like, bro, I want you USA, right? But at the cost of people's lives, you know what I'm saying? Do we have to go to war and force our way to become the number one again? You know what I'm saying? Like That's where I'm at. Like, there's no way we can actually continue to be diplomatic and negotiate still. And can we negotiate with Iran? Because not only just with Trump, right, but all the times prior to Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush. Like, it's been going on, staying like with actually not 1953, since 1950s. We've been
Long
having
time.
beef. So it really came to a head, right? So this isn't just and let me say this: this isn't a pro-Trump or anything or anti this. Because first of all, me personally, I think he's a jerk. But if I look at it from the standpoint of trying to, it's good but bad at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's just me being objective. And obviously, I got guys in the military that's serving right now, and I don't want them to be in harm's way. I don't want anyone to be in harm's way for the fact of political gain, for real.
Right.
And it's just unfortunate that it comes like this. Like, why can't we continue to negotiate? Trump feels as though we can't negotiate. And to your points earlier, we came this far, right? I don't think we can go back to the negotiating table again.
How can we?
We
We were quote unquote negotiating, and then after they accepted our terms, we bombed them the next day. We can't be trusted.
Right.
Let's just start it right there.
Right. And and
then beyond
weird,
that,
bro.
let's go to the school. Let's talk about the school. They hit the facilities that were next to that school with Tomahawk missiles. And last time I checked, Tomahawk missiles are pretty damn motherfucking accurate. So,
right. Well,
how did you hit all the buildings? You have all these buildings you hit perfectly. How did you not know that there's a school there with all the scouting that you did beforehand? All the times you had to scout out the area and see what buildings were there. Right. Either you're really incompetent and you made a mistake. Maybe the AI software didn't pick up the school there, or you knew exactly what you were hitting. You didn't care. Are you carpet bombing, or can you even carpet bomb with a Tomahawk missile? That's my question. It's not World War II.
Yeah, you can't carpet bomb. You got to send some bombers over, some aircraft over there to do that.
No, I mean, we can't. What I'm saying is, like, just taking a scorched earth policy as opposed to being precise. So if we're claiming that we're being precise and we're using Tomahawk missiles, how can you say you hit that school by accident?
Did we shoot it or did Israel shoot it? I know it's U.S. Israel, but who shot who? Like, who?
They're trying to claim that Trump was asked about it. And he said, he said probably the
Iran did it.
Okay, man.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But okay, but check this out. So,
yeah,
is it a known fact that this regime in Iran they actually killed and drove their own people?
Oh, they definitely killed their own people. We're not denying that. I think we can. My thing is por que no los dos. Why can't you have, like, just because they're evil doesn't mean that our regime is good.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm gonna say this though, right? And again, this, like, it's just like when I think about what's going on.
And when I say there, I'm sorry to cut you off. When I say there, I don't mean the Iranian people. I mean the Ayatollah, in terms of the way they were treating the people. Like, if you didn't fall in line with the way that he wanted things run, there were a lot of people that were happy he was gone. Like, don't get that mistaken. However, they're not happy to have their homes bombed when they didn't ask for it.
Right, so, of course not.
Yeah,
and that's the part that sucks, bro. Because it's like, why do we have to? Did we have to go this far? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if your goal is if this is your goal for a regime change or to seize the oil, why do you have to put like innocent people? You know what I'm saying? Regardless if they're happy about it. But yeah, I could be happy that there's regime change, but I don't want 431 Park Avenue getting bombed in the middle of it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't need my grandma's house being bombed. I don't need I don't need that happening for your goals to be met, which sucks. You saying?
What sense does it make to say we're going to bomb the current administration that is terrorizing you, and when this is over, you guys go to the streets and take it over? as if that's not going to create a power vacuum and somebody new is going to step in that may possibly be worse. Just conjecture. I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, but last time I checked, the Ayatollah's son just got sworn into office, and he's more radical than his father. And he just had his
Yeah,
whole
it's the second
family
son.
pretty much. Yeah, you watch your
Bro, real
family
quick.
get decimated. Yeah,
Real quick.
yeah. You go
It
ahead.
says that 36,500 killed Iran's deadliest massacre. This is back in reported for like January 8th and January 9th of this year.
Okay.
36,500 killed.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of people, bro.
It's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
That's sick. That's sick, bro.
But I mean,
But to your point earlier, time, it's like, why does it have to be the U.S. to be the police to stop these guys? Mm-hmm. My question: Why is it us? Like, do you have other people in NATO? You know what I'm saying, that can actually do this as well? Why is it just the U.S. every single
us.
time?
Always.
Just us.
Just
And I
us.
know there's an answer for it. I just don't know. I need some of my smart friends or political inclined friends to understand that. To explain it to me.
Yeah, and you know, anybody can comment on this and add some, you know what I mean, add to this conversation. What I'm realizing, right, or I've always known, is that since 1776, this country has been good at one thing, and even before that, obviously, but it's been good at one thing. It's been good at going in, tearing shit up, getting the spoils, and then coming back.
Right.
That's what we've been good at, and that's what we keep doing. But eventually your gig is up. You can't keep doing the same thing, doing the same trick, and expect people to not figure you out. That's the one thing that we keep on doing and keep running it and running it back and running it back, and it's eventually it's going to come back to haunt this country. And I don't want to be here to see it. I don't want my kids to see it. I don't want anybody to see it. But
Facts.
you can't keep on doing something like this. And then you obviously, Israel has their issues with Iran. Cool. And obviously we know that there's money, money between Israel and there's money between the U.S. And I'm not going to get too far into that today either. But you have to say that when is enough? Because you go after them. They have an 88-man council, right, in Iran. And then they decided, what we going to do? The next Ayatollah is going to be the current Ayatollah that you just killed, his son. So
something like it's wild with their government over there. You have the supreme leader, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the president of Iran.
Mm-hmm.
What? Why are you here? The president, meaning, because clearly the shots is not being called by you.
Figurehead's a figurehead, man. Somebody got to go out there and shake hands and kiss babies. Somebody got to do it.
They ain't kissing no babies. They killing them.
Well, yo. Yeah,
they are.
That's the reality of it, though. That's the morbid reality of it.
And that's not American news. That's international news. You could go to any news, any country, they will say that they out there whacking people.
So my question is, when people disappear in Russia under Putin's regime, how come we're not over there cracking skulls? How come we're over there shaking hands with Putin? Why
they
during
just as big as us?
Okay,
hey, it's a heavy.
I know that's the obvious answer. I know it's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
But it's like stop with all this morality shit. That's what I'm saying. That's all.
Bro,
during World War II, we knew what was going on with the Jews during World War II. We knew what was going on in the USSR when them sending people off to the gulags. Mm-hmm. We didn't do. We were isolationists. Oh, la, fingers in the air. Don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
Only when our interests were at stake against the Japanese. Yeah.
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 But somehow Iran is so bad compared to all those other situations, and they pose, I guess, so little of a threat in our eyes that, you know what? Let's clean house here.
But again, it's the main quest, and you have the side quests.
Yeah.
Iran obviously is directly affected, but the bigger bad wolf that they're looking at is Russia and China, the ones who were trying to make the U.S. dollar weak again. That's
Yeah,
just
it has
how
to be.
I see it.
How do you stand up there and say, "Oh yeah, we're going after somebody for nuclear warheads, and we're going after their nuclear plants that they're building"? Iran don't have nuclear shit.
They weren't what they have like was it 2015? They had enrichment going on over there. There was like a nuclear enrichment over there happening over there.
Yeah, they had a program. They had
Yeah.
that enrichment program.
Yeah.
But listen, if somebody was to, you know
Yo.
what I mean, shooting a nuclear warhead does so much catastrophic damage, and I don't even think they could even touch the U.S. because it would be shot out. It'd be shot down way before that even happens.
I
right?
remember. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying it'd be shut down before it even happens, even to touch us. Maybe Israel, but I also highly doubt that. And it's just like you can see how bad of an effect nuclear anything does. I mean, you go back and look at Chernobyl and realize in Chernobyl that was just a sheer accident. And the place is still decrepit, and the soil's still bad. Nuclear war kills everybody. Yeah. So why am I going to shoot off a warhead that's probably eventually going to come back and kill me?
I don't think nobody really wants to do that for real.
No,
it's just a flex, and I hope that never happens. But I was thinking about some earlier today concerning Iran. Right? Remember the Iran nuclear deal? Was it back in like 2015? They actually gave them the money for the nuclear program, right? So from what I read, that actually slowed. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it actually slowed the production. Versus when they removed it, the production got, I guess, ramped up a little bit. Because the way I was thinking about this earlier today on the way home, that Iran is kind of like a hornet's nest. When you or a bee's nest, right? I put the bee's nest because hornets they're wild, but a bee's nest, right? When you just leave the bees at their, you know what I'm saying, to their, to their freedom, do what they want, they're going to continue to do what they want to do. So yes, Iran had the nuclear program, but they weren't producing as much or even sped up the production as much once it got removed. Because why? The people who removed it, we were deemed hostile. You know what happens when bees feel threatened? They swarm. So I'm just thinking, like, if we go along with their program, will they continue to be docile? Versus if we oppose them and be abrasive with them, they will fight back. That makes sense. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? What I'm trying to say? What you say about that?
My question is, and this is just hypothetical. Why are we the arbiters of who gets nuclear power? What makes us like the all-knowing, all-benevolent power? That's why do we get to have big toys and nobody? I get it, but like why are we the ones?
That's not a valid answer, but just like thinking about it, yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but Russia thinks the same thing. They're like, we're supposed to get rid of our nuclear heads. Like, you're going to, like, we're supposed to trust you. Like, you guys are just like 100% pure. Like, no. And all these other countries think this. We've proven that we can't be trusted in negotiations. So even if they were going to, I guess, get rid of their program in good faith, they don't have any reason to now. They're like, yo, these dudes are just going to bomb us anyway. So let's just get to it. That's what North Korea is doing. They're ramping up. Yeah.
So do you say that we can't be trusted? Is this cabinet can't be trusted, or the U.S. in general can't be trusted?
I think the U.S. has shown a long track record of not being able to be trusted. And Dwight D. Eisenhower actually warned about letting the U.S. industrial complex get out of control and have too much influence. He warned about that way back in the day. And here we are now. And he knows because he was in the middle of it all. Supreme Allied Commander. So people that have been in war, they know the horrors of war, and they try to do everything to not go back to that place. It's only the people that don't box that want to get into a fight with everybody.
Right. And get knocked out quick.
Yeah, but only if the rules are skewed in your favor. As soon as the rules aren't skewed in your favor, then all of a sudden, we can't box no more. No, you have to have somebody on the ground already before you tough and bad. But trust and believe. The U.S. has a lot of debt. We know that, and not just the national debt, but we owe a lot of other countries a lot of money particularly China. So
China,
what
yeah.
happens? So what happens when you have no intention of paying the money back? It's easier to go to war and say, "Hey, the debt's gone because I said it's gone. Come make me pay you." So in lieu of like
Yeah.
actually like having a face up fight,
Jesus Christ.
you try to undermine through um, destabilizing certain regions, supply lines, especially ones that other countries depend upon. But that only works when you have a country isolated. But when you've pissed off the rest of the world and everybody else is like, you know what, maybe this is a good time to decouple from the U.S. because they're putting tariffs on all of us and just being arrogant. That changes the scenario. Like when you're mapping out war games, you can't beat the entire world no matter how big and bad you think you are.
That's
So,
true.
you know,
That is
that
true because this, although this does affect Iran directly, and we're trying to get at China and Russia, I believe, but obviously it affects the rest of the world. Nothing's getting through that strait right now. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's going, like, not just oil, like you said, it's money, like food, water. Speaking of which, that region, like they don't have a natural source of water out there.
no.
So it's just more like that. Like, how long is going to be until like those countries in that area start, start tweaking? Like, yo, like, what's up? Like, you either going to end the war, or you going to give Iran what they want? Because that's what it comes down to. Like, there's no, from what, based on history, I'm saying, like, either you're talking with them or you're fighting them. And then there's also been more. I think this is like the first time we actually, not first time, but in a long time we actually like raised arms against them. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we're negotiating over and over. Every president negotiating something.
Yeah, I mean, I found it like very hilarious that our commander in chief demanded unconditional surrender. You just radicalized the entire nation by killing their kids and letting them know that we don't care if you're negotiating with us. We're just going to go ahead and preemptively strike. Of course, they're not going to. They were never going to surrender. Like they already know that there's no reasoning with you. So like that was a redundant statement. So now you have a potential long war. If we go back to World War One, oh yeah, you guys will be back by Christmas. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they ain't say which Christmas though. They just said just Christmas.
Because
Yo, real quick, I saw something
yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead. Finish your point because this
No, I was going to
exactly
say,
what was talking. Well,
I just see it.
but not that.
I want to preface by saying, by no means does history necessarily repeat itself day for day, hour for hour, but the parallels are just uncanny. I mean, you look at the Austro-Hungarian Empire and Serbia, and they would have this powder keg in the Balkans. You have these Balkan wars every few years, and you'd be like, yeah, these people just have Royal Rumble, and they'll be okay after they fight it out. And then eventually, you had the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, who's supposed to be the next guy for the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and that radicalized that nation. And they said, we're going to teach Serbia a lesson. We said, we have these demands, you accept them. They had some really demeaning demands, and Serbia accepted most of them. And then they had no intentions of ever really. They could have accepted all the conditions. They were still going to go ahead and declare war on them because they had a blank check from Germany. Israel is like Austria-Hungary. They have a blank check in the Middle East. Their leader has been wanting to attack Iran going back to the 2000s, if not earlier to the 90s. And he's been on record year after year, especially you look at 2015, 2025. He's been saying, oh, Iran, they're about a couple months away. They're a year away from it. Like he's been trying to push this war. And you go ahead and have that attack.
I'm still waiting for it.
You have that attack, and then what happens? They think they're just going to go ahead and beat up on Iran. Iran's like, you know what? We have nothing to lose. They're hitting everybody, and meanwhile you have Israel having missiles raining down on Tel Aviv because their Iron Dome.
Tel Aviv,
Yeah,
yep.
because their Iron Dome did not work the way they thought it would,
Yeah.
and they're leaving their citizens out there to get hit. That's their leadership. Right? And now the U.S. has to come in like Germany. I'm not saying we are Germany. They have to come in like the German Empire to try to bail Austria-Hungary, i.e. Israel, out for the mess they started in the Balkans. After Austria-Hungary got their asses whipped by Serbia, which is like 10% the size of Austria-Hungary, and Israel is getting smacked in the face by Iran because they didn't realize they was going to crash out and just start sending missiles to everybody in the region, saying, okay, we're going to mess up all your friends, put boots on the ground. They even said that one of their ministers in the higher ups in government said, we're waiting for the Americans. We're waiting for the boots on the ground. They've been preparing for this for a long time. And they're radicalized now. It's like you didn't kill the new leader's father, and you didn't kill all these little kids and families and whatnot. You got a nation of 90 million people that are just like they hate the US now even more than they did before, if that was even possible. And you think that they don't have any friends? Got to think about this very deeply as we traverse down this road, because it's not as simple as we think. And many an empire in the past has fallen because they've underestimated the opponent that they're dealing with.
It's set up like a Venus flytrap. Go ahead.
Sure. China, and I think China right now, I think they're just watching based on what I told you earlier, Stan. I was listening to this guy named Professor Jiang, that's his name. Basically, he was saying like they're actually, China's not saying nothing. Actually, no, it wasn't Jiang. It was the other gentleman from the Goodfellows podcast, Hoover Institution. They were discussing amongst themselves that China's more so observing, because something that I don't think we have talked about, but our stockpiles of weapons. When will America run out of weapons? When will we run out of weapons? And when that time comes, will China actually take that opportunity to strike? Because, we're in the process of having low inventory. And then also, what I'm saying, like the cost to build these armaments is mad bread. Like we spend, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe the U.S. spends the most money on their defense budget in the entire world.
Oh, clearly. Even more than So I think that's
China,
and I've got a question for both of y'all, because that was actually something I was thinking about. We're going to get tied down in this conflict, run through our current supply depots ammunition wise, and then have to raise more money, which we're already in the process of doing, to possibly have an extended conflict. You think that's not helping Russia's case? You think that's not helping China's case? Like you said, just sitting back and saying, okay, when you guys blow your load, so to speak, then we can go ahead and take advantage of we can go ahead and take advantage of your lack of ability to defend yourself in the region. Yeah, pun intended, man.
Facts.
Pun intended, man.
For
sure.
Stan is rattling off, Stan's on his shit right now.
Nah, he's speaking facts. These are things you gotta consider, bro.
I couldn't keep that in, yo. He's just sitting there. Pause.
That's what. No, that's why I said pause. Just keep on going. It's like
keep going, Stan.
We gotta let him cook.
Oh yeah, I said it that way for a reason, because that's exactly the concern. So what do y'all think?
So with that said, so I can understand China because they haven't done anything, but Russia, I'm not 100% sure about. I mean, they probably could go ahead and just let's get this war over with. But don't you think they have their own stockpiles they're running through, and they're also losing soldiers as well. So I'm still on the fence with Russia, what they're going to do. But China, I definitely see something, since they haven't done anything yet, and they probably have. They're just waiting.
I mean, but Russia's tricky because they're still at war with Ukraine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I don't know.
What happens when the supplies stop going to Ukraine and they start going to Iran? Got big problems for Ukraine.
The same thing can be said about Russia. You remember we talk about the oil supply. You know what I'm saying? Like how much do they have in their depots and their warehouses? About but I think what we talked about earlier a few days, was it last week? Like basically, who's going to run out of resources first? It's a war of attrition. basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Not
exactly
just
what it is.
not just resources, but everything. Like everything. You know what I'm saying?
It is everything. I mean, you almost at this point we've been robbing the earth of its resources for a very long time. I mean, not to get too far off a track, you know how I was saying I was watching the dinosaurs with Morgan Freeman was narrating.
All you need is a leaf in your hat, bro. That's all you need. You're robbing the earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, man.
Nah, you're speaking right. You're speaking
It's
right.
true though.
Yeah.
You know, and we just keep on taking. And then at some point, it's not even going to be we trying to fight each other. It's going to be just survival of life at a certain point. But right now, while we're at war, everybody's at war. I hope, you know, we're not on the precipice of World War III. I really don't want to see that. Nobody wants that.
Nah.
And it's very strange with these wars because of what does winning even look like on either side? What does winning get a lot of these countries? I know, you know, in certain countries, obviously fighting over the Holy Land, looking, you know what I mean, the Gaza Strip, things of that nature. But these wars don't end. Then they just dust kick up, couple more years, fight again, keep fighting.
Yeah.
I just
have a question for you
don't
guys
see
concerning all this. Hey, I know you're saying fighting, bro, but like, do you think? Well, let's say this: we all agree is that we'd rather have diplomacy. But do you guys? We all want peace, basically. We don't want to go to war. We don't want to fight. We don't want to shoot no one. We don't want to blow anyone up. We all agree on that. But I gotta ask this question though, because militaries are there for a reason. Do you think that is? Do you guys believe it was necessary to do this?
this in particular?
Because sometimes, sometimes the needs doesn't really necessarily align with the wants, the desires, right? Sometimes what you need to do must be done, even though you don't like it. So my question is, was this necessary? And you
I
can
think
speak
this was
freely about it.
100%. I think this was 100% avoidable. I don't think this was necessary to kick up this dust at this current moment right now, where the world is at.
Right.
I don't think this was necessary. I mean, there's multiple factors of why it's not necessary at this moment in time, but moreover than that, it's setting up for this microcosm of smaller wars outside of this war, right? So you're putting the situation in, okay, U.S., Iran, Israel, cool, they're fighting, you know what I mean? But then you throw Afghanistan right back in the mix, you know what I mean? And then you throw a few other countries. I mean, nobody's even talked about that. You know, the UAE did get hit; they absolutely got hit, and
They have there's joint bases in UAE.
yeah,
Al Dhafar to be exact. Matter of fact, Iran hit our base 2 weeks after I left, like 3-4 years ago.
yeah,
Like 2 weeks after me being stationed there. 2 weeks later, it got missiles rained down upon them.
right.
I gotta go back and look at that. Why that happened? I gotta go back and look at that.
So there's all these other micro wars are brewing, almost like saying a microaggression, but from other countries as well too, with other countries. And if you, as with anything, if you put a match to gasoline, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah.
And that's what we're playing with right now. So that's why I just think the way that the world is right now, the way the world's set up, even our allies aren't in the best position. I mean, even you look at Great Britain. Brexit wasn't that long ago.
They're against this 1,000%.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So even most of the countries in NATO some are struggling. You know what I mean? Even powerhouses that once was powerhouses are absolutely struggling. You force another country into a war that's already struggling. So what if we don't necessarily lose, but other countries that are our allies do lose. That weakens our structure. That weakens our power even more.
I think that also makes the disdain for the U.S. even more deeper, because they're, especially in that region in the Middle East, they look like Saudi Arabia. They look towards us to assist them with certain things, and that area right there, I think we were talking about earlier. That local area was actually on the up and up. They're trying to bring what's the word I'm looking for? Like R&R and resorts and stuff like that, traveling and trying to bring people to that region, like Dubai and stuff like that, Saudi Arabia, like you said earlier before we went live, like they're trying to diversify their income other than oil. So, I mean, some countries like Saudi Arabia may have a fight in this, right? Because obviously, dismantling Iran helps them, because now they could be the oil powerhouse in the region, right? But then they can also diversify their portfolio with with travel and things like that. If that makes sense. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that y'all make good points, and I'm gonna go. Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to say this, and also those, I'm not sure if I said this already, but those countries in that region, they don't want this to keep on going. They're going to, we did mention this. They want to get this thing over with because it's messing up their bread and they got their motion. So they're going to want something to happen with the U.S. Either if you're going to go through with this, do it. Put troops on the ground, which I hope we don't, or give Iran what they want. Whatever that is. I don't know.
Exactly. So I mean, you. So even last year, October 27, 2025, Saudi Arabia is making a power play for exporting AI. I would imagine to other countries. So like they're trying to become the AI hub, AI powerhouse. So they have a lot of ways they're trying to diversify. So, and we kind of talked about this beforehand. The stock market is, in my opinion, approaching a bubble, like a lot of speculation. Very, very similar to the roaring 2020s, or very similar to the roaring 1920s. A lot of speculative plays. If you look at the economy, it's being propped up by the upper class. Like the lower class is not pumping money into the economy because they have no money. The middle class is shrinking. They're not going out to Walmart and buying all these things. It's the upper middle class to and above that are doing that. And if that stops, then you have exactly, and it's eventually going to be nowhere. So I mean, you're going to have serious problems in the stock market because there's not a lot of money going in from the common investor because they don't have it. And then if you have countries that are really, really influential in the AI space, which is by and large among the main things propping up the current stock market, what happens if Saudi Arabia gets hit? What happens if their desalination plants get hit and they have no water? They won't even be worried about AI. They'll be worried about existing, period. And then that has ripple effects on us and other countries who are heavily dependent on AI. You look at Amazon, you look at Microsoft, you look at Google, right? So I think, I'm not saying I have the answers or that I have all the details. I'm saying that these things, at least at a surface level, require people to really take a step back, stop, and think about it for a second. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you look at these other nations in the region. We had NAFTA. Whatever countries where we had free trade with, all of a sudden you're putting tariffs on people you had free trade with, which makes absolutely no sense.
I know.
And
yeah,
I want to preface this by saying we need to stop making this a left, right, blue, red thing. It doesn't matter who's in office, man. If somebody is doing things that are obviously undermining free trade, it could be a Democrat. I would say the same thing. Mm-hmm. To not question that, you are undermining your own autonomy, because eventually that's going to fall back on who? The common people. Me, you, Tom, everybody around the country.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's you have to see what's right in front of your face. And the countries that they put tariffs on, you think they're sitting back happy? No. Not. Canada, I'm trying to think of.
Nope.
Every time I turn around, you see people putting up their posts on social media from like Germany, Canada, Britain, across the globe. Like they already had like this era of when Americans come over on vacation, like we're arrogant, we're snobbish, they don't know how we act. Now they have political reasons to not like us too. The people that we think are our friends can quickly turn to enemies if we carry this air of superiority, as if we cannot
Let
be
me ask this
knocked off our
question.
pedestal. Yeah.
Let me ask this question only because I keep hearing this in news heads. I mean, hearing this on the news and stuff like that, and about how for so long the U.S. has been forking over the bill for so long. It's always been the U.S. Always been the U.S. That's what Trump been saying for years. Like the U.S. has always been losing with forking over the money, and no one else is helping. Right? Do you guys believe, as far as trade goes, do you think tariffs actually work or working, far as like helping the U.S. with the economically? I'm not
Tariffs.
asking the question. 'Cause I'm not. I don't know. I'm just asking if it's helping or not.
It's a strategic ploy, but from an economic standpoint, tariffs do not help your economic situation, right? Because at the end of the day, when you have companies, you have goods that are imported, they have to pay the tariffs, and eventually that cost gets passed on to consumers. So it's really like an extra tax. Like that's like a economics 101. Like there's like
Thank you.
people may have their ideas of like the end goal. Like maybe they may think the ends may justify the means, but on the surface, tariffs are a tax on the people. Like that's not doesn't matter what political side you're on. That's just a fact. So like if you think that it will play out in your favor because other people will eventually bend to your will, okay, that's your prerogative. But if it doesn't work out that way, right? Especially if you don't have as many friends as you think you do, right? I think we're in a black swan event. Like typically, if you have one or two, three people that don't like your tariffs, but they're isolated from the rest of the world, then it's just like, all right, we'll let this drag out into y'all
Yeah,
cave.
yeah,
But if everybody
yeah,
has
yeah,
tariffs
yeah.
on them and they don't like you, it's a different ball game.
I remember that. So, do you think? Obviously, it's after this, right? Oh man, we can go on with this for long because now it's making me think about other things. Oh gosh, how can I frame this question? You know what? Don't worry about it. Keep on cooking. It's all right. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're pretty much, I wouldn't say playing a game of chicken, but you're making the bet that I can outlast you financially if need be. That's
It's a
just what it
bet.
comes down
Okay,
to.
a
And if
gamble.
and
Okay,
if that don't work, guess what? We're gonna throw missiles. Like that's the
right.
unspoken rule from my perspective. Nobody's gonna say that, but that's what it is, right? We
Well,
have
you
a
just
big
said it.
army. Yeah, I said it. Um, but it's that but to those that understand economics and war strategy, that's just like that's the common sense outcome. Like you look at
Hmm.
our financial situation, we don't have a way of paying off our debts, right? So eventually, I'll give
Hmm.
you a an example. You look at Germany from the 1930s when they're rebuilding from the Great Depression and all these things, and eventually you get to like 1935, 36. They're trying to start to rearm. They don't have the money to rearm. So what do? They make these IOU bills called MIFO bills. Pretty much, we'll spend the money now under the cloak of secrecy and we'll pay it back later. But eventually, the bill is going to come due, and instead of having to actually pay the bill, they had other reasons for doing it. They say, oh, well, we're going to go to war. So by the time we have to pay this back, we'll already be at war or at least close to starting the war. And they still didn't have the money to pay for it. So they just would ransack the treasuries of the countries that they took over. That's the way that you
Right.
kind of you keep kicking the can down the road. If you keep beating people and
Hmm.
you control the resources, at the end of the day, Who the hell cares what the debt is? We have the resources anyway. Come see us. Now that's like that's the scenario that none of us want, but that's the scenario that kind of seems obvious in my mind. But it's kind of to your point of the professor you were mentioning. I can never remember his name.
Professor
Iran
Young.
is yeah, Iran is this inflection point that is unique compared to the previous scenarios that we've had throughout history. And I'm not saying that this is like the war to end all wars. I kind of see it more the way Tom's saying it. I see like a possibility of a bunch of little conflicts sparking in the region, and eventually there has to be some type of peace settlement. Who knows where that happens? But the question is, does the U.S. get destabilized from its position of prominence in the process? Right? Do we go from being number one to being 1A or 1B, or do we go to being a close second? Even though people may think that's inconceivable right now, if you look at the economic situation, not really so much so. If you look at the military situation, not so much so. A lot of people don't realize that the military has been missing their manpower quotas for quite some time, quite some years now. So what happens when you have to put boots on the ground in Iran? And then Iran isn't the only conflict that happens. You have to put boots on the ground to protect Israel. You have to put boots on the ground to protect Saudi Arabia if they start hitting plants there. Like all these people in the region, you're going to have to start extending yourself.
It's a new generation, bro. Like I'm saying,
And then what happens if China...
ain't that much patriotism.
Yeah.
There's no patriotism in this generation, in my opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying? I get it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just looking at the next generation and the generation that came after our generation. Like, it's just, it's different. They don't value the same things that we value or think the same way we think.
So do you think that the next generation is willing to sacrifice for not being as patriotic, as not being America first? Do you think they're willing to sacrifice their current amenities? With the iPhones, the iPads, the ability to go out and purchase, you know what I mean, a $800 jacket, Gucci, Armani, Louis, all this. Do you think the next generation is willing to sacrifice everything that's about being American, everything that what capitalism has brought us, because their lack of patriotism? Do you think they're willing to sacrifice that?
Go ahead, Stan, answer that question.
They may not be. They may be ready for peace. They may not have the same mindset. They may not be war hawkish. That may be their answer to, we don't want to go to war. We didn't ask for this. That's a very good question, but I guess to your point, no, I don't think that a lot of people are ready for the realities of fighting for the things that they take for granted. No.
Until you're in a situation where it's taken from you.
Yeah.
I think America's spoiled, bro. Just
you
me.
Think? You think?
Yeah, that's just me. Because nothing's come to our doorsteps yet, and hopefully that doesn't happen. God forbid. I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I got one more question. So we talk about the generation. It's more so to do about America, and how American citizens are reacting to the news, right? Do you believe do you believe that we're actually acting too emotionally to what we're actually seeing, or do you think that we're actually agreeing that this is strategy more so than emotion, saying we don't want war? What do you guys think?
So are you saying the public, essentially the public outcry of saying, oh no, we don't want war, is more emotionally driven,
emotionally charged more so than actually being informed? If you're upset and, you know what I'm saying, and angry about it and you're informed, to me it's different than you just saying, spouting whatever and not knowing what's happening.
I think people are scared, honestly. Like,
okay,
overall in anything. So obviously scarcity, scared, fright. Those are emotions, right? Those are real
You
emotions.
think they're scared?
Yeah, I think people are terrified.
Why do you think they'd be scared?
The lack of trust in the administrations, and not just this administration, the past administration. I mean, we saw a president that we quite sure wasn't. We didn't understand what was going on, right? He didn't show the true American strength, right? Biden's health had deteriorated, right?
Bro.
So, somebody standing up there,
They
and
gonna
you're
think
looking
you
at him,
conservative.
and you're not,
They gonna think you MAGA. They gonna think you MAGA. You better be careful. They gonna think you MAGA, and that's sad because just because you don't agree with them doesn't make you like the extreme on the other side. That's so annoying to me, bro. Like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
it's so sickening.
That's not even what it is. I'm an independent. If you actually want to know, I'm a registered independent.
That means conservative, because if you don't, that means conservative. That means conservative, bro. I'm telling you, yo. If you ain't ride with them, you conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like,
get down and lay down. If you ain't with us, you against us. Like,
just yo, it's weird because like there's two extremes and that's it. It's like how you said earlier about the middle class. The middle class is slowly dying. Like there's no independent thinkers in the middle. It's either you are or you aren't. And I'm sorry, Tom, you aren't. Based on their opinions.
Based on their opinions. You might listen. You're not lying. You're not lying. It's interesting, and not to get too far off topic because obviously we got rap, but it's people have taken politics and put them almost in a mindset of athletics. I got to choose a team. Everybody's, I got to choose this side. I got to choose that side. If I ain't rocking with that side, then I don't know. I can't say nothing about that side. Like, politics is not sports. They are completely two different things, right? Sports, when the game is over, you shake your teammate's hand, we go home. We do it again next week.
Might even party together. You know
might even party together.
Yeah.
Politics is a different playing field when you're dealing with people's lives. This is real life. This isn't a game. It's actual real life. It's people living and dying by people's decisions. And a lot of politicians that we got right now are just completely untrustworthy, and they're also not taking into consideration, I think, full scopes, full scale everything. They're looking at a small picture mindset, politicians, and the people vote for them because a lot of politicians is running off of clickbait clips in the internet, which is unfortunate, and most people don't realize how important their vote actually still is to this day. But not to get too far off track, people are definitely absolutely terrified and have no idea what's really going on because they can't trust the information. So if you're looking at your cell phone and you're seeing this one article and then you scroll down a little bit more, you see an article that just contradicts what that was, what are you supposed to believe? You don't know what you're supposed to believe. So, and that creates a mindset of being terrified because now I'm in a state of confusion. And with the internet, anybody can put anything out there with absolutely no backing, no works cited. And anything could just happen. Anything can be said, not be true, be 100% wrong, and you believe it.
You ain't lying. What about you, Stan?
I'm
gonna wrap it up after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna build off of Tom's point. We're in a day and age where people do not check their facts. Let's just start and end there. Just take the time to do the research. Take the time, because I kind of echo both of your sentiments. Right, left, up, down, blue, red. You should be able to call out inconsistencies regardless of what your political affiliation is.
Facts.
If you're a Democrat and the best candidate is Republican, and that party is in your best interest at that time, vote Republican. If the Republicans are tearing things up and the Democrats are in your best interest, even if you don't agree with everything they do, consider voting Democrat or independent. Right? Like, look objectively at what people are doing and put put the emotions aside and use logic and reason to be the foundation of the decisions you make. It's very important in
Facts.
life.
Logic
That's
and
it.
reason. I agree, brother. I agree. I guess to try to answer my own question, I think people are more swayed by the caption, rather more so the context of what the caption is saying, right? They just react to what's being said, mostly charged by clickbait, but not really understanding the whole picture and fact checking things, right? So that's what I think. I think people aren't informed as I would say the outrage or the lack of outrage doesn't match the information. Because if you were informed, then you will feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was informed and you're outraged and then you get informed, you may not be as outraged. You know what I'm saying? Because like, dang, what I thought was really going on is not that, it's this. You know what I'm saying? I think those situations where you're being, like, let's say you're a Democrat, right? And you don't really have a deep dive into the information that's being given to you because there's a possibility that what you're digesting or learning may actually combat and face your ideology, and you may have to, I guess, move away from that way of thinking. And you may not want to move away because you're comfortable in that way of thinking. If that makes sense. Your ideology is being challenged, and you don't like being challenged. So with that being said, grow up. You're not right all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my 2 cents. But man, it's been an eventful one, bro. This good conversation, good points. Again, listen, we're not claiming anything. We're just having a conversation about the current events that's happening today and what it looks like, right? We are men. We are just people engaging in conversation. Don't try to box us in. You can't box us in. And if you try to box in, we're going to break that box anyway. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys learned something. I learned something. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Any
Absolutely.
last comments before we log off?
Yeah. Stand for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Stan.
Stand for
You about to
something
say
or
stand
you're
for president? Oh,
No, stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. Stand for something
Facts.
or you're going to fall for everything. Look around you. You see it happening all around you. People ain't grounded in nothing. Ground yourself in something that means something.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
Appreciate
I'll just
the words, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate the words. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right. My boy Tom, what's the deal, brother?
Man, I
Take
only
us
got
up.
one word. Read. That's it. People need to read. Read things in its entirety.
Yep.
That being said, episode 2.1, fellas.
There it is.
This was a good show. This was
It's
good.
a
This was a
good
good
one.
one.
This is a good one.
This was a good one.
It was meaningful conversation, meaningful topic,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
I got
I love the sports talk, but this is good.
I got my audio equipment together today, so you know what I mean. I got a wireless wireless extender. I got all types of audio. equipment now,
Zordon
man.
Rangers, you're breaking up. Zordon.
Back to the Power Rangers.
Play the music.
Generation 1.
Play
Play the music. Cue the music. Cue the music. We out, y'all. You have a blessed night.
Catch y'all later, man.
Welcome to the stage.